What's good, YouTube? So, Aquarius Leviathan prophecy, and you know, I heard the news from yesterday that Baker, DeAndre Baker, and his issues. To be honest with you, I've seen this incident so many times. I'm not even shocked. You know, um, like sometimes in life, you know sometimes in life money is not enough. Like it don't matter how much money you make, whether like it doesn't matter like how much money you make in your profession. You know what I'm saying? Like you always gonna go back to your evil and wicked ways. You know what I'm saying? Like, this kid, he basically said that, I think within 6 games of the season, he was just now learning the playbook, or he didn't understand the playbook. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know if players can fully dive into the playbook. You know what I'm saying? But at least, he could have gotten hold of his, quarterback coach and say, Coach, what can I do right? Or what can I do to improve my game? You know what I'm saying? Like, I think he came from those single mother type, background families. You know what I'm saying? Dad wasn't really around, so like, sports was the only thing that kept him upright. Because I believe, if it wasn't for sports, he would have been in jail for doing something stupid like this. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, like it always goes back to what are the, like, what is the NFL doing to control these players? You know what I'm saying? Because obviously, when the season ends, they have no ties to them. You know what I'm saying? Whatever they do in the off season is up to them. Just like how Vince McMahon said that whatever Chris Benoit did to his family, we have zero responsibility. The only time we are watching him is if he's in our control. Like when they go home to their families, like we have no say or no ties to what they do, because they're not in our possession. You know what I'm saying? Like they're not with us, when they go home to their families. But when they hear, what I'm saying, like we watch them, we monetize them, we ask them, what's wrong, you know what I'm saying? Such as et cetera, et cetera. But, when, he died, they did, it was CAT scan, CTE, and they found out that his brain wasn't the normal size, of an average human. You know what I'm saying? Because there was just too much concussions and chair shots, and like he would always do a flying headbutt, which is a dangerous move because again, concussions and stuff like that, and you'll have concussions in every sport. You know what I'm saying? Whether it's physical or non-physical. But it goes to show you that these NFL players, when they go home, the NFL have no ties to them. You know what I'm saying? Under the they're only under the NFL control when they're suit up and they put those pads on in those uniforms. But when they go home to their families, they have no ties to them. You know what I'm saying? Like obviously, yeah, they can release you if you do something bad, this, that, and the third. But other than a gruesome punishment, that's the only gruesome punishment that they can hand. You know what I'm saying? Like life banishment from the NFL. Same way like Ray Rice. You know what I'm saying? Like Ray Rice. will never be in NFL uniform ever again. You know what I'm saying? And he was making millions. What did he do? He struck his girlfriend, and then it was on video camera, and the NFL saw it, and that was just the end of it. Same thing with Antonio Brown. Like Antonio Brown's story is different. He had some domestic violence, some sexual, allegations about, him sexual assaulting a female, him not getting along with coaches, teammates, throwing Big Ben Roethlisberger under the bus, throwing Juju Smith-Schuster under the bus, etc., etc. You know what I'm saying? So, now he's out the league. He's trying to do a rap career, which isn't really going well for him. He got dissed by Paul. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, Paul Hogan, I think that's his name. But, it goes to show you that money, you could be rich and still be dumb at the same time. You know what I'm saying? Like, it wasn't like, he was our best, cornerback. You know what I'm saying? Like, this was Gettleman's wrongdoing yet again. Because he should have done his homework on Baker. He really should have, because that's the one thing scouts don't necessarily do. They just see whatever you do on tape. They don't necessarily dig into your personal life like that. You know what I'm saying? So the only way they can actually see if you're great or not is by tape. Is by seeing you in the Senior Bowl or the NFL scouting or your pro day. Other than that, they have no ties to your personal life. Like, yeah, they could dig something up. Like, yeah, you was, your mom and dad were both serving in the military. You know what I'm saying? Like, you grew up in that, military household, this, that, the third. You know what I'm saying? Like, it goes back to, Isaiah Simmons, Like, Isaiah Simmons looked like a good kid, you know? Got a good got a good thing on his shoulder. You know what I'm saying? But the Giants, for some reason, didn't pick him. They picked Andrew Thomas, who's who also went to Georgia. And Georgia players are bad news. Like, if I mean, I don't know if y'all watch college football or not anymore, but Georgia players are not really that good. They get into trouble a lot. You could see from, like, I'm trying to think of a Georgia Bulldog player that just got into trouble as soon as he got into the NFL. Like, I'm trying to really remember who it was, but if y'all can think of any player, that went to Georgia, not even Georgia, like, I mean, Tyrann Mathieu fell in the draft, you know what I'm saying? Um, like, I mean, stuff like that happens, you know? Um, but, I mean, these kids just come from broken down households. You know what I'm saying? The only thing that they can leech on is a meal ticket to the NFL, because they think that catching a football or running fast can, catapult them to stardom. You know what I'm saying? Now he just threw his whole life away, basically, because if he's found guilty, like, the story is not really 100% truth, but if he's found guilty, he's going to be serving a long time in prison. Long time in prison. But that's not going to affect the Giants, because the Giants, obviously, they're going to move on because they do not accept that type of behavior. You saw it from Odell Beckham Jr., and I said this way before he was drafted, that we should have drafted, who was in that draft class? There was Evans, Beckham, Sammy Watkins, Odell, Evans, Sammy Watkins. I think it was Brandon Cooks as well. I'm not sure if that was Brandon. I don't know. I'm not sure if Brandon Cooks was in that draft class, but that 2014 draft class was wide receiver heavy. And I said that the Giants should pick Evans. Evans is much taller. He has a high radius wingspan, and he's a good kid. You know what I'm saying? But obviously, they went for the more flashy, flamboyant type of receiver out of Odell Beckham. First year, rookie year, he was quiet, cocky, arrogant, but quiet. You know what I'm saying? But it was that one game. I mean, obviously, that one handed catch, but I mean, come on, you could type in Google and you could go on YouTube and type college football one handed catches, and then you'll see a lot of one-handed catches. So Odell is not the first person to do that. Okay, like y'all need to stop it with that shit. Like everywhere I go, a one-handed catch. Oh, you must be OBJ. Like really? Like he really invented that one-handed catch. I'm not. I mean, Randy Moss been doing it. Jerry Rice. You know what I'm saying? Plaxico. You know what I'm saying? Like people can catch with one hand, two hands. It does not matter. They've been doing that since Pop Warner. You know what I'm saying? So making one-handed catches is not like if somebody does a one-hand catch, they got to bring up Odell Beckham Jr. Even though we lost that game though, because every time he be catching one-handed catches, we always be losing. I'm not saying that that was the reason, but it's a pattern. He caught that famous one hand catch against the Cowboys. We lost. You know what I'm saying? He did it again against the Redskins. We lost. You know what I'm saying? Like he did it against the Jets. We lost that game. So, and but anyways, it's just not using your head, you know? Like that's why I say beggars can't be choosers. You know what I'm saying? Like we can't we don't know what really happened, so we can only go by what was said. And like is it gonna be like is it gonna fall on Gabe if it's gonna is it gonna fall on Dave Gettleman's hands? Because obviously the GM is a control. He gets 100% control of the draft. You know what I'm saying? Like the coach, he says his part here and there, but the GM is a control. The GM is a control. The GM controls the draft. You know what I'm saying? All 7 rounds. It don't matter how many picks you got. The GM controls the draft. So it goes back to Andrew. Now, obviously, he's a different player. He plays a totally different position, but those Georgia players are bad news. You know what I'm saying? Just like Jeremy Tunta, where he had that face mask inhaling, whatever it was, weed or whatever it was. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm pretty sure he got kicked out the NFL too. I'm not sure if he's still around, but when that thing surfaced, when, he had that mask on and stuff like that, that raised a lot of eyebrows. And he also was too from Georgia too, if I'm not mistaken. But like it just shows you that like you could still have money and still be stupid. You know what I'm saying? Like he was making millions of dollars. Like, I mean, there was a quote where they said that he owed 7 million. Like he attended a barbecue party. You know what I'm saying? Like one of his friends or a teammate from the other rivalry from the Redskins was a part of it as well. And like I guess he lost like 7 million, and he didn't really necessarily have it on him, so he robbed. Like he robbed everybody at gunpoint, stole watches and like like it's not even that remotely bad, but it's a bad look on the Giants. You know what I'm saying? like the players will never get any backlash from it, because it's always gonna go back to the team. So when free agents do flop around, they're gonna say, "Oh, you want to go to the Giants? Nah, man. You heard that kid. You heard that one kid that got busted. Man, I ain't trying to go over there, man. That's a cesspool right there." Now, people are gonna be looking at the Giants organization like, "Oh, they don't got their head on right." Like, how would they allow this? How can they allow this? Like, I'm not trying to get into what I'm saying? Like, I'm not trying to get into that mess because in the off season, the NFL players really have nothing to do. They really don't. Right now, I think training camp is within next month, I say, so practices, all that stuff is going to resume, but how they going to do it? Because obviously, there's no physical contact. That's why I said that the NFL should just wait until next year to resume the NFL. Because if you do it now, like, OTAs, all this stuff is short now. There's no 1 a day, 2 a day practices no more like it was, 10 years ago. You know what I'm saying? So, everything is short now. There's less, coaching. There's less preparation and stuff like that. So, like, I don't know, but I think they should just wait until next year. But I guess they want to give the people what they want. You know, but yeah, um, but like I said, it's gonna look bad on the Giants. Not necessarily the player. You know, um, the same thing happened to Kyle Lauletta, when he was chasing, or when he was speeding, and obviously the cops was chasing them. Guess what? He got released. You know what I'm saying? Plexico Burris shot himself in a nightclub accidentally. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think he did that on purpose. I just think that the gun went off on him on the wrong time. And, obviously he got released. Michael Vick with his dogs. Obviously he spent time in prison, got back, got out, got himself cleaned. Eagles took a chance on him. Everything was good. You know what I'm saying? So, um, like, I mean, it's just different situations right now. You know what I'm saying? But again, it's gonna look bad on the Giants because now we just lost a cornerback. Now, I'm not saying that he was great. I'm not saying he was our best cornerback, but he was a potential corner. Like, he was what you call a project cornerback. Like, he had a lot of upside. You know what I'm saying? I think if he was used the right way, I think he wouldn't have come out and say I didn't know the playbook 6 games within the season. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, a lot of players have a lot of red flags. No NFL player comes in his draft clean. Unless you're a quarterback. But obviously, quarterbacks also got baggages too. Johnny Manziel. So he found himself out the league real quick. You know, um, and then there was this whole debate, like, people compare you to Johnny Manziel. I'm talking about Baker Mayfield, and you can see the difference between Baker Mayfield and Johnny Manziel. Johnny Manziel was always about himself and flamboyant, just like Odell Beckham Jr. You know what I'm saying? Like, flashing the money sign and doing all this and that. You know what I'm saying? But Baker Mayfield has a little bit more maturity than obviously Johnny. Uh, so I mean, it is what it is. Like, do I feel bad? No, because he put himself in that position. You know what I'm saying? I mean, like I said, just because you have money doesn't mean you make smart decisions. And for the people that say, oh, well, like the Giants didn't really necessarily help him out a lot, and you didn't really have nobody to turn to. Like if you put me in that position, I would have made the best out of it because I have been on both sides of the end. You know what I'm saying? I've been on both sides of the stick. I've been rich before, I've been poor before. You know what I'm saying? So I've been homeless for like 4 years. I remember like back in 2010, like I was 17 on my own, no house, no car. You know what I'm saying? Like nothing. You know what I'm saying? And I remember when, you know, I, you know, like I didn't necessarily become rich, but I had a lot of, I put a lot of investments in a lot of, into the market, and come to find out, like I had like $4,670 in my bank just by adding 5 cents here and there. You know what I'm saying? When I finally understood how to invest, you know what I'm saying? So I've been on both sides of the stick, so I know how to manifest through it. Baker Mayfield, I mean, not Baker, DeAndre Baker didn't. He only knew one side, and that was him in the, him with his mom, single, you know what I'm saying, living in a single household, no dad, you know what I'm saying, or probably a dad, but, obviously, he chose to, make stupid decisions. So, but, I mean, it is what it is. Hopefully, if he's not, guilty, he could go back to, doing what he was doing. But if he is found guilty or innocent, then he's gonna be facing a lot of jail time. Like obviously nobody got killed, so I don't think the charges should be that serious. But there's more to the story than it is. So I'm gonna just leave it at that, and y'all can tell me what y'all think. I mean, to me, for me, basically, it's nothing new because, like I said before, the NFL have like the NFL has to do something with these players in the off season, like get them into some type of recreation or something because boys, I mean Adrian Peterson obviously child abuse. They show the scar. They show the pictures of the beatings that he you know you know gave his son. And it was all over ESPN, the news and stuff like that. He should have been banned a long time ago because that's child abuse. That's against the law. Why is he still in the NFL? You know what I'm saying? So it's just certain things that the NFL has no control over. Because when these guys goes home to their families, friends, and stuff like that, they have no control. Unless the only control they have is, to suspend them or, banish them from the NFL. That's the only thing. Remove them from video games, T-shirts, jerseys, whatever. You know what I'm saying? That name can never be popped up or looked up on the NFL again. You know what I'm saying? Unless you buy some like old game that they was in before, then okay. But yeah, tell me what you think. Like, share, comment, subscribe, and until next time, take care of yourself and each other. And I got, let me see, three, yeah, I got 6 videos. I got 6 videos to upload today. So yeah.